What is going on, guys? TJ Blayze, MGN Gaming. We're going to be trying something a little differently this go around. We're going to be talking about my online CFM, 32 guys, 32 teams competing. We stream the games right here on YouTube, but we're going to be doing a weekly podcast, solo podcast, where we're just talking about the game. You know what I mean? I love to have a one-on-one conversation with you guys, so hit me up in the comment section if you got any questions. If you have any discrepancies against what I'm going to say, in my opinion, but this is all my opinion, and you know, I love to get you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it with the upset of the week. Houston Texans pull off the impossible last week, beating the Baltimore Ravens 27-24. How does this happen? Believe it or not, it was the Houston Texans defense. Probably one of the most fascinating games I've ever been a part of, I've ever seen. And it was right in front of us for the whole world to see. Cameron Dantzler, I think they picked him up in free agency a couple of weeks ago. Third-year guy out of Mississippi State, is the unsung hero. Literally didn't do anything the entire game, but when it mattered, he came up clutch, forced the fumble, and set his team up to win the ball game against the Baltimore Ravens. The Texans face off against a divisional opponent, I should say, against the Indianapolis Colts. They lost last week to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Should be an interesting matchup. As for Baltimore, they face a divisional opponent next week against the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, let's take it to the AFC West. Probably the most disrespectful game we've seen thus far on MGN since I've been doing Madden. Denver Broncos hosting Las Vegas Raiders, blowing them out, plus a shutout, 49-0. This is worse than that Sunday night NFL game in the real life between the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants. But for you to go 49-0 in Madden and you still show your face in the chat, you're a different kind of person. Jimmy Garoppolo throws 8 interceptions, 184 yards, 18 for 30 was just horrible. Russell Wilson didn't really play that well. He finished 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 151 yards. It was really their running game and obviously the defense. But to lose 49-0, you know, you don't see those users in the chat anymore. They're kind of MIA for the next couple of days. I've never lost that much, that deficit. I have lost, you know, big margins, but 49-0, almost 50 points being dropped on you, and you coming back into the chat. I mean, you're a different type of person. They definitely have to get things going in week 2, or they're going to be the target of the league. Hey, if you need a dub, go to Las Vegas. All right, 27-21, New England Patriots beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Atlanta gets that NFC South victory over the Carolina Panthers, 33-21. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the victory over the Minnesota Vikings, 31-23. 31-0 Miami over the Los Angeles Chargers. The second shutout in MGN history. We've never had a shutout, 2 shutouts in 1 week, but we got to see that in week 1. LA Rams over the Seattle Seahawks, 27-16, and the New York Jets get that AFC East victory over the Buffalo Bills, 41-28. And in our final game, we had the Dallas Cowboys getting a 7-point victory on the road against the New York Giants, winning 42-35. Was a game to watch. Defensively, from the Giants' perspective, they could not stop the run, but they were pretty proficient on the passing side. But mark my words on this team, okay? The New York Giants will be in the playoffs as long as Rio Collins, GM for the Giants, continues to play it like he's playing. That game could have went either way. I will link that in the description of this video, by the way, so you can check it out. But that game could have went either way. They put up 21 unanswered points in the 4th quarter. But, you know, when you have a guy like Chucho, who is the GM for the Dallas Cowboys, he's an offensive mindset. He's going to figure out a way to get into the end zone, and that's exactly what they did. Late in the game, they made some really, really great defensive stops from the Dallas perspective. But the Giants, they're not going away. They're going to be a playoff team. They're going to be a team that not a lot of people want to go and play against, especially visit to New York. The way they play, if he keeps on playing Rio Collins, definitely a GM with a defensive mindset. Could have won that game, but shout out to the Dallas Cowboys for pulling it off and really, really stepping up late when it mattered. All right, so I know it's a little too early to talk about this. Obviously, we're only in week 1, so we're not crowning any champions right now. But I was asked this in one of my conversations with one of my league members, and it's an interesting conversation to have. So after week 1, I mean, which team is arguably the best team in their respective conference? That's a good question to ask, right? And after looking at all the games, because I've seen all of them, it's a conversation that you could put Atlanta in, beating Carolina Panthers. Panthers had a rookie quarterback, but defensively, I think they are more superior than a lot of people look at, or a lot of people can see. They won 33-21. But I think the Dallas Cowboys, all right, might just be that team to beat in the NFC. Hear me out. The New York Giants, I have listed at number 3. Obviously, I'm putting Dallas at number 1. Even though the Giants lost, I still think they're a top 5 team. Okay? And the Dallas Cowboys did go on to win that. So we're talking about in terms of which teams are better after week 1. I think the Dallas Cowboys sit at top the NFC. And then right underneath them, I have the New Orleans Saints. Why do I have the Saints there? Saints beat a really, really good team last week in the Tennessee Titans. Run heavy. Tennessee was definitely a game to watch if you didn't check it out. It was very, very inspirational to see that team do what they did defensively, stopping Derrick Henry as much as you can, right? Especially playing Madden, but holding them to just 16 points. They did beat the Titans 35-16, and the point deficit was what it was because of the defense, because of them being able to make plays. And I think this league is going to come down to which defense is going to be the best late when it matters. So I got the Dallas Cowboys at 1, New Orleans Saints arguably at the 1 or 2 spot, and then right underneath the New Orleans Saints, despite losing to the Dallas Cowboys, I have the Giants at number 3, 4 Falcons. All right, so let's take a look at the AFC. Okay, so the Chiefs have not played yet. They still play against the Detroit Lions, but I still think that they're going to win that game. But let's just talk in terms of what we've already seen from the AFC after week 1. You got to put Denver at number 1. All right, 49-0 at home. Definitely a tough place to play anyway. But being a divisional opponent the way they did, it's gonna be tough to play in Denver. So I got Denver at number 1. Number 2, Dolphins. Obviously, winning 31-0 on the road is tough to do from any organization, but the Miami Dolphins did that in style. They were styling as they were crossing over into the end zone, beating the Chargers 31-0. I got the Chargers pretty much down on my list, but they're nowhere near the top 10. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously beating another divisional opponent, 30-16 over the Colts, biggest point deficit we've seen in the AFC South. And Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence played pretty great, phenomenal, I would say. I got them at number 3. And at number 4, the New York Jets winning big against the Buffalo Bills, another divisional opponent, 41-28. But I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you think? Do you like this list, or would you put someone else? How would you change it? Hit me up in the comment section. I watch and I read the comments all the time, so make sure you comment what changes and what teams you think would be in that top 4, top 5 list. All right, so let's take a look at top AFC, top NFC player. Doesn't matter. Could be offense, could be defense. I know Madden is gonna have their own policy or percentage or whatever thing that Madden does. This is how we do it on MGN on this talk show. So top AFC player from last week. Obviously the week is still going, but let's just look at it. All right, top AFC player, I'm gonna go with Kareem Jackson. All right, Denver Broncos blowout Las Vegas Raiders 49-0. He was a big part of that with 3 interceptions in that game. 6 tackles, 3 assists, 3 solo tackles. Just played phenomenal. Was a dominant player. NFC side, Tony Pollard, running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Straight dominated. 220 yards. He leads the league in rushing with 3 touchdowns and in yardage. They're going to be a tough team to beat. They're going to be a tough team to stop offensively, especially with this guy. All right, so let's switch the mood up. Let's change it up a little bit. All right, we asked the poll question about a week ago in the group chat. Well, not the group, but the Facebook group. If you're not in that group, by the way, the link will be in the description. Please join it. Really great conversation is being had in there, and that's obviously where we post all of our news surrounding the league. But I posted a poll question about a week ago, and I said, who has the most pressure to win the Super Bowl in MGN? Not in real life, but MGN. And 51% of my voters said that the Eagles, Monty Pettigrew, GM for the Philadelphia Eagles, has the most pressure. And I'd have to agree. You have the Philadelphia Eagles, arguably the best team in Madden, best offensive line in Madden for that matter. And I believe the pressure is the most high for the Philadelphia Eagles and Monty Pettigrew, GM for the Philadelphia Eagles, by the way. Lose week 1 to the Patriots, right? Now, next 2 weeks, I got them winning, so I see them going 2-1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, come on, are we seriously talking about Tampa Bay? And then the Minnesota Vikings. That's either way, but based off of how they played last week, they could lose that game. But I got them winning it 2-1. Then they got to play against the Commanders and Kyle Kerrigan, probably the best NFC East GM from play style. So I got them going 2-2, in the first 4 weeks. Can they get into the playoffs? Will they get into the playoffs? I don't know. If we were having this conversation before week 1, I'd say, heck yeah, for sure. They're dominating the Patriots. There's no way that the Patriots are going to win against the Philadelphia Eagles. But I was wrong. They just couldn't get anything going offensively. Jalen Hurts, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I don't even think they had a running back over 25 yards in that game against the Patriots. Is this the team to beat in the NFC East? In the NFC, I'm not so sure. Is this the right GM for this organization? These are the questions that a lot of the people that are watching these games from the Philadelphia Eagles are asking. Pettigrew was a great Chicago Bears user. A couple of years back, phenomenal. Not so sure anymore, but I guess we'll find out in week 2. I believe they play against the Minnesota Vikings in week 2. It's going to be interesting to see because the Vikings are no pushover. Then after that, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who we give you the spread. We give you the points. But then you got the Commanders. And then the Jets coming up in a few weeks. If the Eagles go 0-2 to start the season, I guarantee you, mark my words, they won't get into the playoffs. Is this a must win next week? Absolutely. Because you have the best, arguably the best. You know what? They are the best team in the NFC on paper. And if you're not able to perform at a high level when it matters, you don't deserve that team. So the pressure is at its most in week 2. It should be a game of the week. But I believe we got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. But I guarantee you, eyes will be tuned in to their screens when the Vikings play against the Eagles. And that'll do it for this episode. Make sure you guys keep it locked right here on MGN Gaming. If you like to hear and see more content like this, please hit the like and subscribe button. Helps out the channel. And it lets me know that you want more content like this. And as always, keep it locked. Peace.